Most people stop learning the moment they leave school, but real growth actually comes from mastering learning on your own. Watch till the end and I'll show you exactly how you can achieve it. I remember literally the day I left school. From that point onwards, for weeks, maybe even a couple of months, I did not learn a single thing. Like education wise, business wise, life, nothing until I started college. So there was just this gap in my life where I was just stupid. Because when you're not learning, your brain is not growing. And, as a 16-year-old boy, if your brain is not growing, then you're not growing. Learning is so essential for every aspect of life. Because to be the man who reads one book a week and to be the man who consistently has new information entering his brain is always changing because he's always adapting to new situations and new knowledge he's gained. And so you need to be that man who consistently reads books, gains knowledge, watches podcasts. And to do that, you need to actively remove all distractions. Like right now, I know exactly where my phone is. My phone is right here. It is off and in airplane mode. So let's see if you can see that up there. Hold on. Yeah, up there. Off on airplane mode. So no one can contact me right now. It is literally sat on the floor over there because I'm doing a workabout. It's not the same as learning. However, when you need to focus on a task, such as learning, and when you need to absorb all of that information, and you constantly feel the need to just look away, oh, I need to check my phone, oh, it just vibrated, all these little distractions, someone calling your name, you need to go downstairs and do something, it will interrupt the process. And so you need to tell people, please do not disturb me for an hour because I am going to learn and I'm going to read a book or I'm going to go and listen to a podcast. You don't even need to say what you're doing. Just literally say to everyone in your family, I just need an hour by myself. You chuck some headphones in just so that you can't hear anyone. You don't put any music on. You literally just sit there, phone away, everything. And that is how you can actually focus on what you're trying to learn. Because so many people have so many distractions going on around them. Like there'll be people talking downstairs. They'll take 5 minutes to go to the toilet. Awful. You need to set time aside every day. Sorry. Set time aside, every day at the same time to learn. So this doesn't need to be every single day. That's why I stumbled a little bit. But it needs to be at the same time. Every time that you learn, give or take half an hour, whatever. But it needs to be within that range every time so that your body. It's a strange thing. It's not just about building the habit. Building a habit is easy. You just do something consistently for 24 days, done. You won't stop doing it. But to set the same task every day at the same time, your brain can start to preempt it and it'll get into learning mode. It's really strange, like a little bit of bro science stuff here, but it'll basically get yourself into learning mode where in that time you will automatically, if you've done it for a couple of days, couple of weeks, you will automatically be more focused. You'll be less likely to engage in activities that distract you. And so if you set aside this time every single day, then you will succeed in learning because you will have learning mode basically activated. And to study at different times every single day, you will never get that consistency. Speaking of consistency, you need a consistent amount of time each day. So again, for just like activating learning mode, you need, let's say, to do half an hour each day. And if you get an hour, if you need to do an hour of learning each day, then ideally you want to break it up into 2 or 3 sessions, just for ideal purposes of, like, you'll get tired after a certain amount of time, and you want to ideally have 2 to 3 sessions of learning, like bouts of learning each day. I actually do 2 because 3's like, where the fuck do I fit that in? So I've got currently at the moment 2 bouts of learning, both half an hour, so I can get an hour of learning done, and then I'll just listen to podcasts whenever I have free time and not focus solely on it. So it'll just be going on in the background as I'm driving or something like that. But to have these at set times and this, like, the same amount each day, that will get you the perfect environment to learn and the perfect mental space to learn. And you need to make a lot of errors. You need to fuck up, because failing is your brain's, like, what's the word? Like, trigger to grow. Getting something wrong is your brain being like, shit, we need to change this to adapt to the new information, to the correct information. And so Alex Hormozy has said before that your discomfort is your brain's indicator for growth, and failing is quite uncomfortable. If you get something wrong, you don't want to be telling everyone, oh, I did it wrong, guys. And so when you fail consistently and you consistently mess up and get subject wrong and an answer wrong, say you're studying for a test, if you're going through the practice questions and you keep getting it wrong and keep getting it wrong, then eventually you will start to get them all correct. Andrew Huberman talked about a study that was done where they had students read over the literature that they were studying 4 times, and then they had a group that read over the literature once and took 3 tests on it. And then at the end, they did one final test. And do you know which group performed better? It wasn't the group who looked at the information more and who just, read the subject more and looked up on the text. It was actually the students, who tested themselves on it for 3 times. So getting questions and answers wrong on a subject is the perfect way to get your brain to change and to grow. And you need to have a reason to learn. Like, let's say you've got a business, and that business is you teaching young men how to build muscle. If you then do some research and you're sat at your computer reading something, you will absorb that knowledge better than someone who doesn't have that reason. They're just reading for fun. They're just trying to gain the knowledge, because you have a reason. If you get this knowledge in your brain now, then you will make more money. Probably comes from our ancestor days, where you'd be listening to a story that an elder is telling you, and if you don't listen to this, you will eat that one purple berry from the bush and you'll die. So having a reason, having stakes, like high stakes, when you're learning, increases the absorption rate. And the last thing to teach you is to teach others. Andrew Huberman also talks about, what is it? Watch one, do one, teach one. So what that means is learn about it, do it, and then teach it. So this is exactly what I've done. Say with meditating, learn about it, figured out, best ways for me to do it. Then I did it, learned what works and what doesn't work. and the optimal way to do it, and now I'm teaching you. Same with this topic. I was smashing my head at books, just really trying to figure out why I couldn't keep any of the knowledge. You know, when you've got to read a line 3-4 times to be able to get it to just sink in, to be able to remember what you read literally 30, not even 30, 20 seconds ago. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so to be able to get yourself into that headspace and to focus, you know, you've got to learn how to do it. I've got a book called Build Rapid Expertise. It's a book on gaining knowledge. And that book honestly changed my outlook on how I learn, because I've got a video up called How to Remember Everything You Read, and a key point in that video is to underline and annotate, and I was not doing that in any of my books. But after I read that Build Rapid Expertise book, boom, underline, annotation. And it's just, being able to teach others just ingrains it in your memory, and it helps you to articulate it into a way that your brain can understand. For this video, let's say, I have all this information written down on a page. I have all of it in my head, in kind of like a little jumbled mess. Kind of like, you know what? There we are. Exactly. It's kind of like this when it's in your head, just kind of in a mess. But when you're articulating and you're speaking, you can make a clearer picture of it in your mind. Instead of going from like a wiggly, squiggly line, it can go into a straight line. And you know how to get to exactly to the point that you need to be when you're thinking about a subject. It's like when I'm teaching you how to do this, I'm formulating my own thoughts and my own opinions on the matter as I teach. And I'm also gaining more knowledge. And back to failure. Most people actually never try the thing that they want to do because they're scared of failing. Most people don't go to the gym because, you know, they're scared of looking fat and being fat and people looking at them, and that's their failure to lose weight. And people are so scared to just start a business and to try their hand at business because they're scared that they'll fail and people will laugh, or they'll have to go through the humiliation of going back to their old job if they quit. But failure is the key to success. You know, you look back at my first video, oh my, awful. I had none of the style I have now. Like, the style of these videos is a dark background. The only thing you can see is me. In those videos, it's just colourful, bright. It's just completely different. And I've got a video, like I said, on why failing is important. You should go watch that right now. Have a hard day and a great week.